Here's some shit that recently happened that pisses me off. For anyone who doesn't know what the Dakota Access Pipeline is, that is an oil pipeline designed to carry about 500,000 gallons of crude oil from Dakota, North Dakota to Illinois. Since, North Dakota has now become the major, or one of the biggest sources of domestic oil. Of course, this is a pipeline that was devised by corporations and billionaires in conjunction with the crooked government. This is the way our government works. And as soon as that pipeline was proposed in 2014, complaints started rolling in right away. Right away. First from farmers in Iowa, because it's a threat to their crops. Big surprise. When you have, pipes that leak all over the goddamn place. They have a history of leaking, and you're transporting 500,000 barrels a day, or gallons rather. And so now more recently, as many people, because this was in the news just last night, this broke. And, this has been going on for a while. But the major source of contention has been the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, which has raised concerns over the pipeline because they run it so close to the reservation, and it runs just underneath the Missouri Lake, which is their major source of drinking water. And the funny thing about that, before people say like, well, you're an anti-capitalist piece of this and that, like, no, not exactly. Here's a little perspective. That same pipeline, which people, some apologists, some kind of like fossil fuel apologist type people have been saying, it's just a pipeline, all this stuff. It's not a danger. They're overreacting. The protesters are hampering, business interests or whatever the arguments are, whatever kind of ridiculous apologetics that people that the corporate mouthpieces are doing on Fox News or wherever they may be out there, surrogates of the oil companies. So here's a little perspective. That same pipeline, right? If it's perfectly safe, there's nothing wrong with it. Why did they reroute it through Indian land, specifically because it was deemed to be a threat to the capital city, their water supply? So the capital city said, you're running this pipeline just a little too close to where our fresh water comes from. This poses a clear and present danger to our drinking water. You're going to have to move it. The wealthier class live in the capital, because and the political class also live in the capital, because it's a small state. It's not that densely populated. All the people who, air quotes, matter live in the capital. They decided, like, yeah, let's reroute this pipeline through indigenous areas because it's a threat to us. And aside from all that, aside from the immediate threat to literally survival, to clean drinking water, the pipeline also runs through cultural and religious sites that the tribe considers sacred. I mean, these are considered sacred sites to these natives, and they're just gonna fucking steamroll it in order to put a pipeline there. So, fuck Native Americans, because this is America and we haven't done enough to fuck Native Americans. Ah, man. And this is what really pisses me off. All that shit is going on. And what has been getting so much coverage recently? Because these protests have been going on all summer long. And what's been getting coverage? What's been getting all the attention? What's the media been saturated with? Anti-Trump protests. Now, here's another story that came about. This is the next chapter of the anti-Trump movement. And this pisses me off so fucking much. Because you have real people who need help. Obviously, the celebrities are involved too, which I find almost as toxic as career politicians. So now someone doxed the people involved with the Electoral College, those people's info, and now they're being harassed, by online groups of people who, armchair warriors on Twitter and whatever else, they're being harassed to change their vote before the Electoral College vote becomes finalized in December. So what pisses me off also is that everyone is already on Trump's tits about, you're the worst person ever. You got all these hippie dippies prepared to jump out and be all over Trump's ass on every misstep that he may make, right? And that's good. That's awesome. That's fantastic, as it should be. But what I want to know is, where the fuck were these people when Obama was steamrolling the Constitution, when Obama was fucking steamrolling people's citizens' rights and everything else, when Obama was doing all the fucking things that everybody has been afraid of Trump for? So everybody's like, Trump's going to be this, Trump's going to be that. All the shit Obama is already fucking doing. Where the fuck were these people? Where the fuck were these sanctimonious, self-righteous celebrities then? So here we go. I got a list of things here. So here's the first thing. Now, so Obama was supposed to be the people's champ, and he was supposed to reign in Wall Street. But guess what? The banks are bigger than they've ever been. Assets at the 6th largest U.S. banks that caused the whole fucking economic crash are 37% larger than what they were in 2008 when they crashed and fucked up the entire country's economy. What the fuck? Because, this happened under Obama. Silence from the left. Silence. So speaking of the protesters and the bank crash, there's so many things, so many pieces that connect here. So Obama also cracked down on, after, the banking crisis, Occupy rose up. Occupy Wall Street, that movement. Some people were against it, some blah, 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 blah. I happen to think that they were doing the right thing. I mean, there's many points of contention. A lot of people could split hairs on this, that, and the other thing. But the basic premise of the movement, I think, was genuine and worth pursuing, and that's the reign in Wall Street, corporate interests in Washington, all of that stuff. I think everybody, all normal, average, everyday citizens want that. So Obama, he came out publicly, shyly. He was very shy about it, but publicly said, we're on the side of the protesters. But meanwhile, this was what he said publicly, except that there was a nationwide coordinated crackdown on those protests. The FBI was involved. Many large movers and shakers in the political world were involved in a coordinated national effort to squash Occupy Wall Street. Are you trying to tell me that Obama was not aware of that? He couldn't call off his dogs in the FBI. There was nothing he could do. His hands were totally tied. Because he actually cared about the protesters. And another thing that he did, and this is what pisses me off. So you have these fucking no DAPL, no DA pipeline, Dakota Access Pipeline protesters, Indians, Native Americans of all people too. You would think, because Obama's supposed to be, and this is what you hear from the right. The rhetoric is like, oh, Obama, he's so left-wing. No, he's not. He's not left-wing. He doesn't care about white Americans in middle America. No, he doesn't care about any Americans. He doesn't care at all. And, the proof is in the pudding. What did he do for the black community? Nothing. And when the fucking Standing Rock Indian tribe came to Obama's, to see, they wanted to speak with Obama to say, like, hey, can you fucking help us? Can you do anything to save us from crony capitalism, from fucking poisoning our land and just steamrolling our land? After all the U.S., has historically done to Native Americans, is there anything you can fucking do, Obama? Well, I think we should let it play out. That's what he said. We should let it play out. He didn't take any action. He's just going to allow the big money interests to fucking steamroll these people and their lives. So don't tell me that Obama is fucking the champion of anything. He doesn't care about ordinary citizens. He just doesn't. So what else did he do? Okay, let's talk about what else Obama did, because he cares about black people, right? And black people get shot by the cops at a statistically higher rate than anybody else. So, of course, he signed a special law to protect black people from killer cops, or just ordinary citizens from anybody. So what did he do? He signed the Blue Alert Law, which gives cops extra protections. Yeah! Awesome! The people's champ, Obama. What did he do to protect ordinary citizens from cops who abuse their authority and kill citizens indiscriminately? Nothing. He didn't do anything. This guy didn't do anything. In fact, he did less than nothing. He gave cops extra protections. So that's what he did. What happens when these people indiscriminately kill citizens willy-nilly? Kids. Throw flashbangs in babies' cribs and all kinds of other shit. Well, they get a paid vacation on the taxpayer. That's what they get. So what else did he do? Very slyly, and secretly, again, he does these things in secret so that nobody can publicly say anything about him. He signed the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act. And he did that secretly on New Year's Eve, when everybody's going to be partying, and the stories are going to be all kinds of other things. And he did it very slyly, under the radar, to authorize the indefinite detention, torture, and denial of trial to American citizens. Yeah, habeas corpus, you know what that is? Only the cornerstone of democracy. Yeah, he signed that away. He took that away. under this National Defense Authorization Act. And he also granted those same powers to all future presidents, like Mr. Donald J. Trump, which everyone is so fucking afraid of because he's the next Adolf Hitler. So says the leftist media, a quote-unquote leftist media, you know, like the New York Times, which lied about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, which cost fucking millions of lives, ultimately. And what else did Obama do? Here's the last thing I got on my list. That's, I mean, come on, man. Come on. So you got prosecuting whistleblowers, Chelsea Manning, Snowden, all these people, Assange, all these people. He could pardon them with the stroke of his fucking pen. And what is he doing? Chelsea Manning, of all, is the worst one. I mean, this is the worst fucking... He's literally torturing this person. Chelsea Manning has been in solitary confinement for years. Suicide watch. Everything. I mean, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? And will Trump do the similar things? Yeah, I mean, it's likely that he will. And who gave him the ability to do that? Obama and the left, who was put to sleep. All the Democrats who were put the fuck to sleep by Obama. And all the people in the media, like celebrities, that opposed Bush tooth and nail. And as soon as Obama got in, you can't say anything. Only a handful of people did. And a few of those same people are still talking, like Susan Sarandon. And God bless Susan Sarandon. I mean, I'm not a movie watcher. I'm not a TV watcher. I don't really consume traditional media entertainment anymore. Yeah, there's only a few voices in the crowd who are actually saying, like, yeah, you know what, Obama, you're afraid of Trump? You're afraid of Trump? Yeah, because he seems like he could be a scumbag, and yeah, maybe he will be. Maybe. I mean, the only time will tell. But you know who else is a scumbag? You know who has proved himself to be a scumbag? Obama. So where the fuck are the protests against this guy? Where have they been? Where have the fucking protests been? It really pisses me off.